Hello everyone, my name is Amber. Welcome to my channel, Amber Reads Romance. Today I'm just doing a quick introduction before I get started on my vlog here because I am doing another 12 rec from 12 friends. And I was recommended Unsteady by Peyton Corinne. And this was actually on my TBR already, so I really appreciate Angie. She's one of my subscribers. Thank you, Angie, for recommending this because I really wanted to read this. I actually also got this annotated by Jen from the Book Refuge. Sorry, my voice is kind of going. So I actually have this annotated, so it's always fun to kind of read her annotations as I'm going. I know that she gave this 6 stars, so I'm really excited. I've seen a lot of hype for this. So I'm really excited to get to this one and see how it goes. So big thank you to recommending this because I definitely needed to get to it. It's been on my TBR for a while. And I love a good hockey romance. This is between Reese and Sadie. And it's like a hockey figure skater. I think he has like some trauma from like an injury and they kind of have a different relationship. I don't know what goes on between them. So I don't know a ton about it because I watched people's reviews a long time ago, so I kind of forgot. So I'm kind of glad to go in this a little blind. But anyways, so we're going to go ahead and get started reading this, and then I will check back in with you once I've gotten, a quarter of the way through or a third. I don't know. Anyways, I will check in with you in a bit. Hey everyone, so I am here for my first check-in. I honestly am refilming this just to give you behind the scenes because I was actually filming in my mom's bed. She is out of town for a few days, so I came over to kind of check in on her cat, who is right here. She's always got to get involved. So I came over. I was just like kind of lounging in her bed and wanted to do the check-in from there, hanging out with her kitty. But the lighting was crazy. And then the cat, Lily, kept knocking my phone out of my hands. So here we are. We're just starting over. That's a little behind the scenes issues of me doing my vlog. But anyways, today has been kind of nice. It's actually Saturday and I have been just kind of having a lazy Saturday, honestly. Like I slept until like 11, which was nice. And then Bex from Bex Reads was doing this 24-hour like readathon type of thing where they're doing sprints for 24 hours. And so I've just been kind of popping in and out of the sprints and reading a little bit. So I've been starting this book, which I'm really loving. But it's been nice, just kind of chilling. I mean, I have a million things I need to get done around the house, but I don't really feel like it. So anyways, I am probably going to have some clips, some B-roll maybe of my mom's cat because she's just so freaking cute. She's still at that like kitten stage, even though she's bigger, but she's just so adorable and she's pretty like needs constant attention and my mom's not here. So she was just so adorable. But anyways, let's talk about this book. Okay, so I have started Unsteady. I'm about like maybe 30% through. And I am absolutely loving this. And it's even better because this is annotated by Jen. I did have her annotate this. So that's always fun to read her annotations as I'm reading. But I'm already really like hooked and into the characters. This is my first time reading Peyton Corinne. I don't know if this is her first book or what. Probably not. But I'm really enjoying her writing. I think she does a really great job, like building the characters, a lot of character development, and kind of just, I feel like connected to both of the characters already. And I love all these side characters too. So in this, we have Reese, and he is a college hockey player. He is a hockey star. He's the captain of the team. But in the beginning of this, things go really badly for him. He got really badly injured in a game. Like, it just opens up that way where he's injured on the ice. He's like face down in the ice. He couldn't see. He like passes out. And then now we jump, I think it's a few months later. And it's like during the summer, and he's trying to get over this bad injury. He is been having a lot of anxiety and panic attacks, getting on the ice. And so the thing that he loved more than anything, hockey, is just really hard for him. So he's in a really depressed, like, bad place. He's kind of cut himself off from his best friend. He's staying with his parents for the summer. And he ends up kind of going to this one hockey rink that, like, his dad is also an NHL star. So he does like kind of like this volunteer work with kids. And so he starts volunteering to help kids skate and play hockey and stuff. So his dad is like kind of the group helping the older kids, and he's helping with the younger ones. And that's where he meets, I think it's Liam. And he's this adorable little 5-year-old who's not really that great at skating, but his big brother is one of the ones in the older group, and he really looks up to his big brother. And so he's kind of helping him. And, he notices this young woman rushing because they haven't been picked up yet. All the other parents have picked up all the other kids. And the girl that's like helping him is like, yeah, she's always late. She's never here. Like, kind of like throwing the shade. And then he kind of puts a foot in his mouth a little bit because he's like, yeah, these are great kids. Like, you should be here. Like, you should come watch this. And, she came in all harried, like looking kind of like frantic, trying to get there in time, and she seems pretty young to be their mom, but he doesn't know what's going on here. And then we find out that this is Sadie, and it's actually her little brothers, but her dad is an alcoholic, like doesn't take care of the kids. I don't know if he uses drugs too, but he's pretty strung out, and she has to work multiple jobs. She actually goes to the same college as Reese, and she's a figure skater. So she kind of gets irritated with that first introduction. And she is actually just in a really bad place too, because she is working so hard. She takes care of her brothers. Her dad just begs for money. She works multiple jobs. And she's still going to college, but also trying to do figure skating at the college. And so I guess like her last year, we don't know what happened, but things went really bad where she's on like probation, and, so she doesn't want to be started like on that bad foot again. So she actually works at that same hockey rink, and she does like concessions there, and they let her come in like before opening so that she can skate and get some time in with her skating. And so she goes there early one morning, and she sees somebody else was there, and she's like, what the F? Like, nobody's supposed to be here. And she goes in pretty hot to like yell at them, and she notices that it's Reese, and he's literally having a panic attack on the ice, and she helps him through his panic attack. And so she feels really bad, and she's trying to help him off the ice, and he kind of comes out of it and is like, oh yeah, you're Liam's, mom. And she's like, sister, but, so they kind of keep running into each other and forming a friendship, in these mornings. And it's just a very sweet, slow burn of them, like, kind of falling for each other and becoming close. She like shares her music with him. She's like helped him through multiple panic attacks, and she kind of helps ground him and everything. And so, he's, can't stop thinking about her. Sadie only does hookups though, and she can't look for anything serious because of her home life, and she just won't even go there. But they have a really sweet, like, cute banter. Like, she'll flirt with him during his like panic attacks, and it kind of helps him. And like, they're just so freaking cute. She like made him a freaking playlist. Like, she tries to come off like all hard ass and like cold to him, but she obviously has like deeper feelings and cares for him. So she like literally made him a playlist to help him through his like panic attacks, saying like music really helps her. And so they just built this really sweet dynamic, this sweet friendship so far. But they both want to be more than friends. They're both really attracted to each other. There's one time that like they're both in the locker room, and I think it was when he was having one of his panic attacks after and everything, and she gets him out of it, and she puts like the earbud in both their ears, and they're listening to music. And then like somehow she ends up getting like straddling him because they like are like can't like stay away from each other, and they start to kiss, and things are getting pretty hot and heavy. Like he's so cute, like with his like way he consents, you know, he wants consent too. But somebody arrives and it kind of interrupts their interaction. So but you know, things are really tough in Sadie's life, where like she had to leave that day where she was supposed to be there with her actual coach, and the coach is like, if you leave, you know, you're on probation, you can't leave. But her brothers had called like crying, and were like, we need you here. And they had like missed the bus for the first day, and like her little brother had peed his pants. And there's also this crazy scene that was so hard to watch. It's like really heartbreaking, of like her father being drunk, like crying downstairs. And this woman was up there saying she was Liam's mother to Liam, and he's hiding under the bed, like scared of this strange, like strung out lady. And it turns out that like a baby was kind of like dropped off with them. That was like her father's kid or whatever, like 5 years ago. And that was when she was 16, and she had to like basically take care of everybody. So it was hard enough with her and her other brother, Oliver, but then it was like Liam was in there. So you just see how much she has on her plate, and it's just really sad. So she ends up going to a party one night, and he sees her like alive, like somebody's posting a story, and sees her in the background. So he goes, and he like, they almost like hook up, because she was there to try and get sex, because she kind of needs to do hookups so that she can kind of get rid of her stress, or you know, she's just in a tough spot, and she is not ashamed of her sexuality. But when he shows up and she was gonna hook up with this other guy, she gets kind of embarrassed because she really wants him. And we meet her friend Ro, who's like her best friend for the last few years, who really helps her out with the kids and is just so adorable. I love this girl. Like her friend is so amazing. But she's pretty drunk that night. You get to meet a couple of the of Reese's other hockey players, and they seem really amazing. He has his best friend Bennett, and he'd been ignoring him, not responding to his text. So Bennett's like this big, huge 6'6" goalie, I guess, and he was pretty hurt by it. But and then there's another friend, I can't remember his name, but he was like the playboy, like flirt, like, you know, man-ho of the group. So I'm loving all these side characters. But yeah, so after that, like, party, they kind of kissed, and they were going to get on that night, but her friend was in, like, trouble, like, you know, drunken trouble, and so they kind of got interrupted again. And then she sees him, like, at her restaurant, and he shows up with his friends, and they're just flirting. They're just really cute. They have such cute flirting, and I don't know. I'm just loving it so far. I'm really loving, just it feels so, like, real and authentic, like, and a slow build of like them really becoming friends and supporting each other, and then like them being attracted to each other. Like you could tell they're already falling in love with each other, but they haven't gotten to that, you know, place yet. So I'm really loving this. I'm so excited I'm finally reading this. So anyways, I'm probably gonna head back over to my house. I'm gonna try and read some more of this. And then I'm also starting the Immortals After Dark book I need to read, which is Cadian's book. I want to start that tonight and get going on that. So anyways, thanks for watching. I know this was kind of all over the place, but what else do you expect with my vlogs? So I will check back in with you in a little bit, maybe when I'm like halfway through or a little over halfway through, because this is a very easy read. It hooks you. And it tugs on your emotions. I'm definitely emotionally invested in these characters. All right, I will see you guys on the next clip. guys, so I am back. Actually, this is Sunday, so it's the next day. I did get about like 60%, I think a little bit over halfway done with the book last night. And I started to get kind of emotional. I was going to do a check-in, but it was late and I just didn't really feel like doing the whole camera, me being emotional type of thing. Now, I didn't fully cry, but I was getting a little teary-eyed and a little emotional over this book. So, with Unsteady, I am just loving this book. Now, there was some stuff that was going on, but I mean, I'm so all over the place right now. We just finished doing our live show for our buddy read, and I have a couple videos to film here. So hopefully I'll give you all the information I need to on this vlog, or in this clip, sorry. But basically, like, they have like such a great banter and flirting and all this stuff going on that eventually leads to them hooking, like wanting to be sexual together. Now, again, our heroine Sadie, she does not do relationships because of her family situation. But she's very attracted to Reese, and Reese is very into her. Like, he wants to like talk things out after they hook up, because they do eventually decide to hook up, but she makes it be like that's all it is type of thing, and he definitely does not want that to be all there is. But he's willing to take whatever he can of Sadie. Like, he just is so smitten with her. He can't stop thinking about her. She's something that helps him through his PTSD and trauma and issues and stuff. So he's very connected to her. And so Sadie like kind of throws it out there of needing a release. She's proud of her sexuality. She's definitely okay with it. The previous year she was hooking up a lot, just to kind of get that release and get out of her head and not deal with like all the stress that she's under in her home environment. But now she doesn't really want to hook up with anybody else, and she's very into Reese, but she's kind of like pushing it off, pushing him away a little bit to just be a hookup, when it's obviously she's already in love with him. Like, these two have fallen for each other. They're so connected. So they decided to start kind of hooking up, but they do not have sex. So like, they still haven't had sex yet. And I'm about, I think 60%. So they've done a lot of like oral, him getting her off. He loves going down on her, which she never really like cared about with other guys, because they didn't really do it that great. And she was just about getting like that sexual release and like leaving. And she's getting very scared about how emotionally connected she is to Reese. Now, he has started his first game and everything, and things went well. Like, the music that she gave him helped him and everything. So, you know, his struggle is not over, though. He is still struggling with nightmares, PTSD, but he's trying to work through it. And at one point, he finds out that his coach, who he's really trusted and been like a big part of his life, he finds out that he actually accepted the other hockey member from a different team that is responsible for his accident that literally, it wrecked his life. It's put his whole career path in hockey on like a very bad footing here. And now that guy is going to be on their team. Even that guy's team and his team and people all said it was like a dirty hit, like something he shouldn't have done. But the refs called it like a legal hit or whatever, so he got away with it. And now this guy is going to be on his team, and he already has panic attacks. So now he has to deal with this asshole coming on his team. So that is a really tough situation for him. And he's like feels most betrayed by his coach for doing that and putting him in this position. He's the captain of the team, so he has to try and be professional. And he tries to say to the guy when he comes in the locker room, like, hey, we need to have a talk. Like, let's talk things out and put this behind us. And the guy is a fucking asshole. And he's like, I didn't do anything wrong. It was a clean hit. Like, you just need to get over it. I mean, this guy is a really talented hockey player, but he's kind of a mess. Which I wonder if we'll get his book later, because I don't know, I'm not loving him right now, but maybe he'll have a better journey. I don't know if we'll get his book. But so that's something he's having to deal with at the same time. Now, him and Sadie kind of she gets pretty pissed off because he couldn't make it to her little brother's like hockey game because he had like all these 2-day practice type of things. And she got like upset, like, well, you need to apologize to my brother because you're letting him down. And really, she admits to herself it's really her she's upset with because she thought, you know, she wanted to depend on him. But it's a little unrealistic to expect him to do that when it's his like season. He's still going through a lot. So, and I think she does recognize this about herself, that she's kind of, you know, being a little over the top, but she got upset by that. But it ended up being where her brother couldn't even go to the game because her dad like stole her car, stole money and stuff, and so they couldn't even get him to the game, and she had to like go hunt her dad down and get her keys, and it was just a very bad situation. So you just see this horrible home life that Sadie is dealing with, and after that she was like, I can't have him sucked into my drama and into my horrible home life. So she kind of basically lets him know, like, hey, I think we shouldn't do this anymore. And she basically stops reading his texts or responding to him. And he's pretty devastated. And, you know, it's really tough. And then at one point, his friend, his like really close friend, calls her and is like, hey, I need you to come here because Reese was like wasted. He's locked in the bathroom. He won't come out. He's only wants you. And so she goes there with her friend, her best friend, Ro, who I love Ro. I love her so much. You know, I think she's going to be the next book because I'm just loving her. She has a really toxic asshole boyfriend and she's just such a beautiful, like sunshiny personality. So I can't wait for her. But anyways, she shows up and he's locked in the bathroom and ends up getting open, and there's a chick in there with him that was basically trying to take advantage of him while he was wasted. And he's really drunk and like saying how much he's in love with her and nothing happened with that girl. And Sadie gets pissed and starts like beating the shit out of this girl. So it's a whole thing. But so, you know, they are kind of in a mess right now. They're not fully together, but they, you know, are both in love with each other, but they just have a lot going on. Sadie really has a lot of shit going on in her life. Now, I gotta say, side note, her coach is pretty psycho. Like, he's very toxic and very involved in her, where he was like pissed when he saw her talking to Reese at like a practice, and then he like literally told her at one point, like, are you gonna let him ruin your career, your drive, and like you shouldn't be seeing him. And so it just feels very shady to me. So I don't know if anything is gonna happen with that, but I don't like it. But what I gotta say is there was such an emotional part in this because Reese has to admit, like, he's not doing good. And he has really hidden everything from his parents. His mom knows because she's literally woken up to him having night terrors. She's really tried to help him when he was like living there for the summer. But he finally has a talk with his dad about everything going on. And it was so emotional. Like, this is the part that got me emotional, was him and his dad having the heart to heart. And his dad was just so comforting and accepting and being like, you know, I wanted you to be able to come to me. He's like, even if you didn't do hockey, I would support anything that you did with your life. And it was just such a heartfelt, emotional scene to see him finally open up to his dad about the issues that he's having, and his dad just be there for him. So that really got me. I think that's kind of where I left off. Yeah, so I think that's where I left off. Like, we're not anywhere where they're back together or anything, I don't think. Yeah, so that's kind of where I got emotional, left off, and so I ended it there last night. So I am going to finish this book today, and then I will do another check-in, but I'm just telling you, I am loving this so much. The character development, like, I love both these characters so much. Reese is so amazing. So I'm so excited to continue this book. So I will finish this and then I will check in back with you guys in a bit. Hey guys, so I actually just finished Unsteady, so I wanted to do my final check-in while I'm sitting here in the glory and basking in the beauty of this book. I just have so many warm, fuzzy feelings right now. And I cried a couple times, got emotional. But it was like a good emotional, not like the emotion of me reading Boys of Tommen where I was fucking devastated, bawling my eyes out. It wasn't that type of crying, you guys. So I'm going to try and not get emotional in my wrap up of this book. But I'm just blown away, you guys. Okay, so with Unsteady, it is kind of late at night. I just finished. I think it's like about 10 o'clock. So I apologize for looking haggard, for the lighting, whatever. But I wanted to get this check-in done real quick. So where I kind of left off was already getting emotional between a heart-to-heart that Reese was having with his father. It just really moved me. And so already getting emotional. And that's what I mean about this book is the side characters are just as important. Like the secondary characters, like his freaking parents. Like they were so freaking beautiful and I love them so much just on their own. But let's get back to the story before I go on all my side tangents. But basically, during this time, it's been like, I think a few weeks. I'm not positive on the time frame, but basically, Sadie has pushed him away. She doesn't want him involved in her crazy life. And, they've stopped hooking up. And so, it's not great. He really misses her, but he's trying to give her space. And he happens to see her at the library with this other male, like, figure skater that he's really jealous of, but really shouldn't be that jealous of him. And so he goes chasing kind of after her because he sees her on the phone kind of panicking. And it happens to be that she's supposed to be in practice. She's on probation. Her coach is a fucking asshole. So she can't miss like any of her, practices. But she has nobody to get her brothers. They were supposed to go to the neighbor, but she's unavailable. She can't get a hold of Ro. Ro is like missing. She's tried calling her forever. And so she is going to have to leave and she's freaking out. And so he basically, is trying to approach her to help. And she's very defensive, is like, no, like, just leave me alone. Like, I can take care of this. She has such a hard time accepting help. Ego is a thing, and she does have a big ego, and she's very shameful and embarrassed by what her family life is like. And so she doesn't want him around that. But he's like, you know what? This isn't going to change anything with us. I understand that we're not together, but let me help you. So he offers to go get the brothers and maybe drop them off with Ro or whatever. But when he reaches out to Ro, she's like not going to be available for a couple hours. And she happens to be with his other best friend, Freddie, who is like the, playboy kind of hockey player that's like kind of the man-ho of campus. But she's supposedly tutoring him. So I see the second book happening with them. But he goes to go pick up these kids and he's never really got to go to the house. He's been there once or whatever, but like he's never been in it. But he shows up to the house and they're sitting on the steps and he sees a man like passed out face forward in the like front yard around like with beers. And he's like, who is this man? And all of her, like the older brother's like, that's my dad. And so he's starting to see the real picture of like how fucked up her life is. And he is just so heartbroken for these kids. And so he basically takes them. He's going to go get them some good fast food and treat them. But Ro still isn't available. So like he has nowhere to take them. He's kind of panicking. He doesn't really know what to do. So he ends up taking them to his parents' house. And let me just tell you again, the parents are fucking amazing in this book. Like they are so special. Like I love these side characters. I love his family. I love his parents. They have an amazing backstory on their own. But just watching these boys be so leery, and like, there's just so much to it, like, especially with Oliver, who was the older son, and he's kind of had to witness everything in a deeper way. He doesn't like to be touched. He's very standoffish and very protective of his sister. There's just so much going on there. And so, these parents totally accept them in, and they end up hanging out with his parents and all of that. And so he ends up talking to Ro, and she's like, keep them a little bit longer so she can get rest. And she gets her to go to sleep, letting her know, like, I'm going to get the kids or whatever. So later he's like at home, and she shows up at his place, and it was really to thank him, but she ends up going off on him in the same thing because she's so embarrassed and ashamed. And, you know, he's like, I'll do anything for you. You know, he's like, you don't have to be, he feels like shit. He feels like shit that when he first met her, he had said, like, you know, you should really come to these things on time. Not knowing that this girl has been raising her brothers on her own, working multiple jobs, figure skating, dealing with an asshole coach, all this stuff going on. And so, you know, they basically kind of have it out. And he lets her know, like, I care about you. I want to help you. I love that, you know, I care about those kids. And, you know, he's like, I really want to kiss you. Because she totally breaks down and gets vulnerable with him. And so they totally go for it, and they kiss. And now she's kind of ready to jump in. She's been very leery, but it's like having him in her life and his support, she doesn't want to lose that. And so they end up finally having sex. And it was just so beautiful because it was so much more than like what she's ever experienced. And, you know, they spent the night together, and it was just super, super sweet. I mean, Reese, let me tell you, this man is fucking perfection. So, like, you know, he knows, like, he's in love with her. He knows he's in love with her, but he doesn't tell her that because he knows that she's not ready for it yet. And he's okay loving her, like, quietly, and doing the acts of, like, kindness and love and showing her he's there for her and waiting for her to get to the same place as him, because she has just had so much on her shoulders and she's so scared to go there with him. So it's just very emotional. Like, they have so many, like, sweet moments. So they start to kind of, like, see each other when she goes downstairs, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm his girlfriend. He just lights up. He's so happy because it's like everything he wanted, and he's finally getting there with her. And so it's just really beautiful. So, I mean, there's a lot going on here when they're seeing each other. He actually goes, there's a really intense scene where, you know, he goes to her dad's house where her brothers live. And I think it was on Halloween when she found out it was her birthday, and he didn't even know that. And so Oliver even went to him and was like, hey, she's pretty, like, she has trauma from, like, you know, birthdays and, like, when their mom had, like, abandoned them. I mean, don't even get me started on the mom. Like, it's just devastating. But he's basically spending the night with her there, spent the night with the kids. Like, he's so precious with these boys. Like, that's another thing that just, like, melted my heart, was how kind and loving he was to these boys. And, like, there's, like, this amazing scene. Sorry, I keep getting sidetracked. There's this amazing scene when, like, they're in the car, and he's like, you know, I love you guys. Like, and he's like, looked at them. He's like, I love you guys too, you know. And the younger brother, he's like, oh, I love you, you know. And Oliver gets out, and he's, you know, the more reserved, untrustworthy one. And he was like, love you, you know. And I'm just like, oh my God. Oh, it was just so precious. But anyways, he wakes up to some sounds in the house that night when he spent the night over there. And he thinks maybe one of the brothers is up. And he does run into Oliver, and Oliver is standing up the stairs, like, kind of walking, listening. And it's his dad. And he's like, well, I'm just worried because, you know, Sadie left her purse down there, and she's been saving money. And he'll steal it if he gets it. And he'll steal all her money. So he's like, okay, I'm going to go down there. And of course, later Sadie wakes up to screaming and yelling, and her dad has, like, a broken beer bottle that he's, like, threatening Reese with. And, you know, she has to, like, calm him down, and she kind of freaks out, shuts down. Like, he throws the bottle, there's glass everywhere, and she's like, you just need to leave. Like, you need to leave. And he's like, no, I'm going to stay here and help you. And she keeps pushing him, like, just leave, just leave. And he's like, stop. I'm going to clean up this glass because it's all over the floor. You're going to get hurt. And then we can have this discussion after we take care of the situation. Like, he does not let her push him away. And it is just so fucking moving, the conversations and the way he stands up, but is patient with her and doesn't push her for more than what she's ready to give. He's willing to wait and be patient because he loves her and he wants to be with her forever. And I think I left my bookmark in this scene. Yeah, I put a bookmark on this scene because I started crying here. Because when he gets upstairs after cleaning the glass and everything, he's freaking out and she's panicking like, oh, he is going to leave me. She doesn't want him to leave. She loves him, but she's scared and she keeps pushing him away. And so like, she thinks, oh my God, have I lost him? Is this too much? You know, at the same time, she also wants to push him away. It's a very complicated turmoil of emotions that she's going through. And I'm going to read from the book here. So I know it's kind of whatever. You probably don't care. But this scene just like, oh my God, I started crying. Okay, so he says, I'm going to say something now, Gray. That's his nickname for her. And I need you to hear me, really hear me, okay? I love you. And he's like, I love you. I love everything about you. I love your anger, your snark. I love the way you skate. Like you're full of fire. It makes me remember when I fell in love with hockey. I love how you take care of your brothers. How you protect and love Ro. I love the way you get that frustrated, confused look on your face. The same one you have right now with the little divot between your brows. And nothing, no dark part of you or your life will ever change that. So like I told Oliver, if you don't want me anymore, that's something I'll have to deal with. But there will never be a day that I do not want you. And he's like, tell me you understand. She's like, I do. And he says, good. So I was crying so hard in that scene. I'm getting teary-eyed right now about it. Like, he even's like, you don't have to say anything right now. I can love you enough for the both of us. And oh my God, this boy, like, I mean, this guy is, it's official. He is on the top book boyfriend list because he's just so sweet and tender with her and patient. And he is willing to wait. And trust me, he doesn't have to wait long because they end up going to like a charity event thing with his parents. And she's been getting really close with his parents. Her brothers are getting really close with his parents. So it's very beautiful the way his parents support her and help her and her brothers. Like, it's a very beautiful found family that she's never experienced anything like that. And she ends up telling him she loves him at the event, like privately. And of course they have this amazing moment where they have sex in this room at the event. And then all hell kind of shit goes sideways, because her dad ends up getting in a drunk driving accident, but he had the brothers in the car with him. So she freaks out. They get to the hospital. Luckily her brothers are okay, but you know, he's freaking out. Like, is she going to try and push me away again? Sure enough, she is thinking about it, but he never lets her push him away. So there's no third act breakup in this. It took us a while to get to her being able to fully accept that she deserved him, that she was worthy. And so we didn't have to deal with a third act breakup. We did have to deal with her saying, I kind of want to take things a little slower, you know, because she was freaking out. And he was like, okay, we can take things slower, but we're not over. Like, we're not breaking up. And I just loved him. He was so patient with her. He ends up like having his parents watch the brothers so that she can go on her like competition. And he ends up having his parents and him and the boys go watch her compete. And her brothers had never got to see her figure skate in a competition before. And then of course, when he's there, he witnesses her coach being pretty abusive to her, grabbing her, being kind of threatening, also kind of groping her in front of him. And so he's pretty upset, but he doesn't want to ruin her moment. And then we also have a couple of side things happen where the guy that gave him the injury, like kind of our villain in this, I feel like we're going to get a book of him, maybe. I don't know, or maybe he'll just always be the villain, because there seemed to be so much more to him, because he witnessed the coach be abusive to her in like a practice, and he was like, your coach is overworking you. No coach should treat you like that. And she's very like groomed and conditioned by this coach, because this coach has been training her since she was 12. He was the only one that believed in her. He loves her. He just pushes me because he loves me. So she has that mentality of it. When he's abusive, he works her more than any other girl. He keeps her there way past her time. It's just abusive behavior. And so this guy can actually see that, and he calls it out. And then again, when she's in another practice with him, she sprains her ankle. He's overworking her. And so she's like, I gotta go. Like, I can't do this anymore. And the coach is grabbing her physically and like holding her arm and hurting her. And this guy comes out of nowhere and knocks him the fuck out. And I fucking loved it. I know there's more to this guy. You could tell he recognized that kind of abuse. And so, he's had some type of abuse in his past or something. I know. So anyways, oh my God, this vlog is so long because I just keep talking, but they were so precious together. And, even though she tried to push him away, once she was ready and she was on board, she was all in with him, and they were so special together. Like, they really supported each other. And so we kind of get like a few weeks later, and then we also get like 3 years later where we get to see them 3 years down the road. And it's just so great to see like his parents adopted her brothers, because she couldn't really handle that on her own. Like, and they wanted her to be a sister, not the mother, and so she could still be like their sister and be there for them. But like, they adopted those boys, and oh my God, you guys. Okay. They adopted those boys and are helping raise them and everything. So it's just this found family. The parents were so beautiful. Like, I am dying for their romance. I did not know that this is this author's first book, at least from what I saw when I looked on Goodreads, because I was like, oh my God, I have to look to see if the parents have a book. And this is the first book that I could find of hers. And this book for your first book, that's freaking insane. But I'm begging her, please write do the parents' romance, because the mother was like older. She was like 33, getting out of an abusive situation, kind of a woman on the run. And then this 24-year-old NHL like hockey star falls for her and is very protective. And she even tells that to Sadie, is like, because there's a lot of like same kind of situation there. Maybe not the exact situation, but like, not feeling like you can accept that protection and help and all of that. So I'm just dying for their romance. So I could gush and gush. This made me cry a couple times. As you can see, I got emotional. I don't think it's any surprise that this is a 6-star book for me. It's a 6-star book, top book boyfriend now. Like, I don't know top, but he's in the top 5 at least. Because I don't know if you can beat Jamie Fraser, but I just love him so much, and I love both these characters, and I just thought it was paced so beautifully. It was very emotional. All the side characters were amazing. So I can't recommend this book enough. Obviously, I've spoiled the entire thing for you because this is a spoiler review that I always do my vlogs this way, but I loved it. I loved it. So 6 stars. I think it's like 2.5 chilies. Maybe it's not really that spicy. And it didn't need it. Like, it didn't need the spice. I loved every moment of this book. And Reese is to die for. So anyways, I rambled on and on long enough, and it's getting kind of late. So I'm going to end this here. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you, Angie, for recommending this. It was fantastic. As always, I appreciate you all watching my videos. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and I will see you guys on the next vlog.